Welcome back, heroes. We join the Outrunner once again as Euphemia was speaking. Who were you speaking with?
Bali.
Bali, yeah. And she was about to say that you need to speak to Triss.
Sure.
And Euphemia had just asked why.
She says she's acting unusual around the Godmother, and it's creeping me out.
I mean, that's fair. She's been acting really odd.
Didn't you say that you were going to talk to her about that?
She didn't give me much, but I'll use a little more persuasion.
Do you want me to take care of it?
No, it's my job. I'll do it.
All right.
You can come along if you really want to know. Although, I'll tell you later.
I don't want to gang up on her.
There.
You find Triss down in the belly of the ship, working on this side of the burned outer hull. She turns around, sweat pouring down from her. She has on as little clothes as possible in the belly. And she is very muscular. She turns and says, "Captain, can I do something for you?"
Well, first, she offers the good berry. You can take this back.
I didn't give you one.
No, you didn't.
Is this the Godmother's? She didn't want it?
She was more concerned that you have it if you needed it. We don't know what we could face in the future. I think she was concerned about your welfare.
Okay. She takes it back.
She'll be eyeing her. There is something else. What is it about the Godmother that disturbs you so?
I just know that if she gets upset, she might down the Outrunner.
Well, if I get upset, I could pull your mind out of your head, but I don't see you acting this way around me.
You're not a Godmother.
Have you met them before? Are they not like the stories say?
They're exactly like the stories say. Terrifying and powerful. I was very young. There was a terrible storm in Bellwether. My father was at sea. There were plenty on the dock that needed to be rescued. I watched a woman, I didn't know that she was at the time, but she walked out and the flick of her wrist, the storm calmed. My dad was saved. Isn't that horrifying, Captain? They can calm storms with their fingers. That's way too much power for one person to have.
Triss, she says.
In Bellwether, the weather's our life. Someone to control the weather. They can control everything.
There are pirates who can influence the weather.
She changed the weather. In the town. Right after I snubbed her. She was showing me. She was showing me what she could do to the ship.
You had a run-in with this Godmother that didn't go well, I take it. And then there was a storm.
No, I'm talking about Juniper. I told her I wouldn't help her with the merfolk. She asked me to, but I didn't. It's bad luck. It's a black mark. I don't want to bring down that on our heads, Captain.
I have a feeling we've pissed off people just as powerful.
I don't think so.
Do you trust me?
Yes, Captain.
Have I ever let you down?
No.
And is there anything that I've not been able to tackle?
No.
I wouldn't let her bring us down. You know that.
But what about this fated business? You need her.
Fate, she says. If it was up to me, we'd be done with this as soon as possible and back on our real mission.
Do you think that'll be the case?
I think I'll make it the case, if I have to.
Didn't know you were a lawyer, Captain.
I think that's the cruelest thing you've ever said to me, Tress.
I don't think you've ever beaten fate before, Captain.
She flinches a little at that.
I don't think anyone has. Not Ronan, not the dragons, no one.
I'll keep a closer eye on the Godmother. But I don't think you need to be so afraid.
Don't tell Clebe to not be afraid of the dragon.
Actually, I plan to work on that with him. He knows how much I despise when people run from their fears.
Not all of us is mighty. Sometimes you got to remember.
I know. Thank
I
you.
trust you, Captain, she says.
She nods. Thank you for trusting me with this, too.
I get the ship fixed up like Split.
She gives a little kind of like side punch to her arm, which does not move Triss at all, and nods.
You're certainly the nicest captain I've ever had.
I don't find it particularly enjoyable to torment people. Unless they deserve it, which you haven't yet.
I hopes I never do, she says.
Good night, Triss, she says.
So will you not be wanting me to give gifts to the Godmother from now on?
She pauses. I actually think the gifts make her quite uncomfortable.
See, I think they're like dragons, miss. You gotta give them shinies. Keep them happy. That's what the dance is for.
Shinies, she says. If it makes you feel that much better, and you feel so strongly about it.
Why do all real smart things, Captain, want shiny gold things?
What are you saying about those of us that care less about shiny gold things?
I'm saying we know what actually matters.
Give her the gifts if it makes you feel better, she says. But I don't think that they're needed. And, she says, if she's real trouble, we'll kick her off.
Captain, do you think that the dead one, do you think he could touch the cannon and make it aim?
I think I'm afraid to ask him.
I do want to see some dancing cannonballs, though.
This needs to happen now.
Do you want me to ask him to work on it?
No. No, she says. I don't really want him touching the ship.
She's so serious. She says, good. I really didn't want him to either. You never know what kind of power he has over what he brings to life, I don't want him having any power over anything on this ship, other than what he brought with him.
It is very dark in the forest. Dom has taken over on the wheel.
Juna's gonna keep him company again. For a little while, at least.
All right. The rest of you wind up getting some sleep.
She'll go talk to Bali and let her know about what happened there.
Okay. So this will be your extended rest that you guys took last time. And
So we're at 3 chaos points then, correct?
I believe that is correct, yes. Yeah, it's 3. Just 3.
I got
I
my
need to
wish
know,
points can
Isaac
chaos points at one
has
point, and I
Isaac
freaked
and
out.
Pongor been working on the Oaken Bolter, giving it fins?
Yes.
Oh yes, the plans
If that's
we
the
made.
case, then you need 10 more days to finish.
Okay.
I counted from when you received your tools in Jamesburg.
Okay.
So, you stay up late with Dom.
She's gonna bring up a correction to his story.
What do you bring up?
She goes, Kazor didn't join the fight.
What?
Kazor. He didn't join that fight. At least according to all the texts I've read.
What have you read?
She is going to list off this ridiculously obscure book that's, so old it's completely not in print anymore.
Where are you finding all these ancient books that I've never heard of before?
Traded it off as salt.
What? You've talked to Salt?
She realizes she let that go and she was like, yes, I have.
When?
Oh, back when I was still learning.
How?
She pauses for a moment and she goes, I needed something from her, so I asked Sumsall to help me find her.
You asked the Sun Dragon to help you find the Tide Dragon.
He found her.
Is this something that regularly happens in your life?
Oh, heavens, no.
Roll a deception check.
Actually, it hasn't happened for a very long time.
It's very good. He rolled high. 21 DC to beat.
Oh, hell. All right, here we go. Come on, roll. Hey!
Oh.
24. Beat that, baby.
Sometimes you scare me, Juniper.
Why is that?
You say things that are surprisingly horrifying rather casually.
How is that horrifying?
There's an entire grand bardic tale about the quest to find salt, he says. He basically is going to describe the Mythia version of the Odyssey. He says,
Well, let's just say...
Cyclopean islands.
Let's just say I lucked out and she happened to be off the coast.
I think we both know that luck is something that's made.
And perhaps fate aided.
How many times have you been involved in fated doings like this?
Like this? Not many.
Godmother, I have a question for you.
What's that, Dom?
Objectively, what did you think about Roland's performance in the fight?
He seems... distracted.
Distracted or amateur? That armor fiasco.
Yes, Well, everyone has their off days, I suppose, and he was trained by Harper, after all, even though, let's be honest, Harper is hit or miss sometimes.
Harper is this.
Oh, he gets the job done. It's just... his attitude is interesting at times.
His attitude, you regularly interact with Harper the Bold.
Not me specifically, but Godmothers do. How do you think he gets his quests?
So now I'm picturing a bunch of Godmothers gathered around a mushroom circle, passing gossip.
A mushroom circle.
Don't you teleport around in mushroom circles?
Is that what they're saying these days?
Well, you should enlighten me more about Godmothers.
You know I can't tell you too much. Oaths and all.
Thought we were friends. I let you beat me at chess.
Oh, you let me beat you. I see.
Because, of course,
Mm-hmm.
chess master like myself doesn't lose.
I see. I suppose we'll have to have a rematch then, just to make sure.
I believe we will.
I have been beaten before, so... How much longer for your watch?
Till dawn.
Would you like some tea?
Not tonight.
She nods.
Thank you, though. You should get some sleep.
I intended to.
You stay up far too late for a young woman.
Ah, yes. Well. Yes. Do you have much family? I know you are Ronan's brother, correct?
Yes. Caught on to that, did you?
The Iron Hand comment. No.
I have a mother and a father, and some extended family in my home. What about you? Family?
A few, yes. Not many left. What? Oh,
Give me
roll.
an advantage deception check.
Oh, well, not great. Clearly, this is much on her mind at the moment. 13. She looks sad, actually, when she says that.
Life can be hard.
No one lives forever. Well, at least very few. Well, I think it's time for me to go to bed. You have a good evening, Dom. Thank you for keeping me company.
It is quiet below deck. I believe everyone is asleep. Save one.
No.
No, he's up. He's in blood. Master. Master.
Isaac will kind of start and be like, Pongor, why are you awake?
Master, somebody is scratching around outside the door. You hear it?
Isaac won't move, but from beneath his cloak, the homunculus will kind of like crawl out. And it will...
He uses his little baby hand to
Oh.
get the knob on the door.
It'll peek through the door and see what's out there.
Somebody is messing with Phalor.
Phalor? Oh, okay.
Is Phalor not in the room with me?
Phalor stands sentinel outside the room.
Got it.
To be honest, Phalor is kind of dangerous.
Yeah. I can shut off my own senses to see through my constructs, can I?
Phalor's not activated.
No, but the homunculi is.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I'll just have the homunculus get closer.
You will see a beak sticking out as Klebe begins to climb on Phalor's robe. Looks like he's going for the hood.
The homunculus just watches.
You're gonna
Isaac
see,
already knows how this is going to play out.
You see Klebe roll a check, please. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
We are all going to be awake very soon.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
Sorry, hold on. I was drawing a blank while looking at my sheet. 18.
Touching Phalor can kill. Phalor possesses piece of the fate from the original Tiefling.
So, when I first converted Phalor, Isaac came to the conclusion that his fate was completely gone.
No, Phalor's touch causes necrosis in the flesh. It doesn't kill you anymore.
But it's still there, just not as potent?
Correct. Captured in his bones.
That would have been good to know earlier than this.
Hey, the Revenant does necrotic damage on
It
his
does.
sheet.
You're right. All right. What would be the best way to do this? Isaac will use thaumaturgy, and the door to his room is going to suddenly slam open.
As everyone suddenly wakes up.
She's in her quarters. She
Oh,
probably can't hear
okay,
it
well,
from there.
Yeah.
all of us who are right outside
And
your
you're
door.
on.
I'm on the deck.
Okay. So Klebe has grasped into the robe and is like scaling Phalor. It looks like he's going for the hood. As the door flings open, he is going to start and like throw himself back, but his claws are stuck in the robe. So he's going to like flail around on it in startlement. And each one of you, I need all of you to give me perception checks with disadvantage.
Well, the ones of us who are there, which is me. And Hero.
All of you who are sleeping.
Me,
All of
Hero,
us?
and then...
So you get a negative 10 for being asleep.
Huh.
They're
What
not
about-
even in the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about being on the deck?
Yeah, it's like right next to the stairs where he is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have a very
Disadvantage,
poor-
6.
That's not enough.
Wait, perception you said? Nope.
Never mind.
13. Sorry. 13.
I
10.
slept through this.
Wow, nobody. You wake up.
I wake
A
up
10. You got a negative 10, right?
at 10.
Total of 10 after
of
the
10.
negative?
Oh, what was the negative?
10.
Minus 10.
So you got a 0.
I got 0.
Okay.
I got
yeah,
a
you
3
wake up.
minus 10. Though.
Okay. None of you wake up.
I have a negative 6.
Bali is the only one on the ship to wake up at the door slamming. So Klebe is going to like flail around, and as he does, the hood on Phalor's horns is going to like fall away. So there's just this like rictus skeleton of a tiefling.
What kind of horns does Phalor have? Like,
He
what
has
shape?
these giant ram horns.
Okay.
God, his hood must look weird.
Mm-hmm. He looks like...
He looks like a hooded tiefling, which always looks weird.
So Klebe is going to look at the door, and his like eyes are like super big. Does he see anything in the door? Does your homunculus make himself visible?
The homunculus stays hidden, but then Isaac will walk out and say, Klebe, is everything all right?
Klebe is going to see you get up, and he is going to reach up to touch the face.
Okay, the homunculus, which has been there this whole time, is going to try and intercept his hand.
The homunculus needs to make a athletics check, DC 12.
Okay.
Go, homunculus, go.
Hey, spell it.
Homunculus?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it would be the stat sheet for the winged roll. Yeah. You said athletics?
Minus 1.
Yeah. Just want to make sure that was strength. I'm going to use my inspiration for
Yes.
this.
Thank you.
This red d20 is cursed, so can I use this one?
Sure.
Oh, thank God. All right, 17.
17. Okay.
Live, baby.
Okay. Klebe is going to reach up very curiously towards the face to touch it. The homunculus is going to tackle Klebe. Klebe makes an opposing athletics check. Cleby rolls an 18 minus 3,
Okay.
15. What was yours?
17.
17.
17. Okay, so he's like, the homunculus is grappled onto him, and they're both super light, right? So it's like two super weaklings that are super light fighting against each other. And Cleby is squawking and like whacking it on the head, trying to reach up towards it. And the homunculus is going to like pull him off.
Does this wake us up yet?
Have I gotten within touching distance of Phalor yet?
Yes.
Okay, so Phalor can do this thing where because his bones are disattached, he can just kind of like collapse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to touch him and then have him just like...
Okay. Cleby is going to be slammed against the wall lightly by the homunculus. And he will, he's like hitting it, annoyed. And the two of them are wrestling on the ground. But you have collected Phalor's bones.
Okay.
And prevented disaster.
I'm going to walk up and I'm going to take Cleby's hand, like, gently, and try and calm him down.
Cleby, the moment that you are looming over him, is going to go, I'm sorry, Master.
It's alright, Cleby, but there's something that you should know.
Don't trust him, Master!
Everyone is sleeping.
Are we?
So, you rolled above a 7 on their perception check.
I rolled a 13.
Bali is going to have woken you up soon and said, Captain, there's something going on out there. Oh, wait, no, you're upstairs. Never mind.
Yep.
You're behind a door upstairs. You can't wake up.
Oh.
So Bali is going to come out. In the pits are the two of you doing?
Making a ruckus, it would seem. Everything's fine. Isn't that right, Cleby? He says.
He looks at you looming over Cleby as he's like this tiny little speck in the door.
Kneeling.
Oh, you're kneeling, okay.
Yeah. Like I have Cleby's hand in mine and I'm like trying to talk to him.
Okay. Cleby goes, sorry.
Just know, Cleby, don't touch any of these things. They're quite sharp. I don't want you getting hurt.
He goes, okay.
Good. I'm glad you understand. Now let's go back to bed.
He nods.
Cleby, are you always up this late?
He goes, Kenku only sleep for a total of 3 hours a night.
I didn't know that. Well, I'm going back to bed then. I trust you won't try this again. Good. Alright, and Isaac's going to take Phalor and just like kick his bones into the room with him. And then shut the door.
In the wee hours before waking, Juniper,
Just checking. Continue.
you live a memory again. A place in a forest. One great tree. Many lights swirling around you. Things like tree houses in the branches, and a circle of stones like a meeting place below you. And you see darkness there. Endless darkness, swirling like a hurricane. And in the center is you and a man. He has wings. He's got a noble face, and a crown of sticks resides on his head, woven together with flowers. And there is magic coursing from him. Waves of green and violet fire wash out as the hurricane attempts to engulf you like jaws. You wake in the moments that the hurricane closes on the both of you.
She probably wakes with quite a start, too. She's going to... Hang on. Never mind. I do not fall out of my hammock, although it does swing quite widely. Is anybody else awake down there?
No.
Okay, then never mind. Nobody sees the slight breeze that wafts around her when she wakes up. Does she have that dream often? Or has it been a long time since she had it?
It's been a long time.
Does she have any sense of that familiar enemy still? She's wondering if that brought it on.
There is a vague sense in the back of your mind.
Can I get a distance, or is it just...
No, you can't. The sense is not that fine-tuned.
She is going to get up. Quietly, so she doesn't wake anybody else up. And go up on deck. Makes herself a pot of tea.
When you wake up very early, Juniper's making a pot of tea.
She's keeping away from you so as not to wake you.
He's
She
gonna
looks pale.
wake up and walk over to you.
Good morning. You ready to do your workout?
Yeah.
You see Jania come up on deck.
Would you like some tea?
Yeah, actually nice.
She reaches into... She clicks the box, it lands next to her, and she pulls out an additional cup.
Jania goes back downstairs.
She hands it to you.
Thank you. Hey, about the other day, I'm really, really sorry.
About?
Just the not being helpful.
Why does everybody keep apologizing to me about that?
You're like the one in charge.
I'm sure there are many on board who would disagree with that notion.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're the one in charge of this mess we're in.
I'm not sure in charge, just simply knows the most.
Well, I mean, I haven't really ever had one of these things before, so I just feel like I'm failing at it.
You've never had a prophecy, have you? I forgot that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake Femi up now, Dawn says. Knock on your cabin door wakes you up. Cabin, switch!
She hits back up. I'm awake, she says. She'll get ready and come out.
Falling over out here, he says.
She emerges. Her hair's kind of a mess. She looks half asleep still. But she does have her hat on.
Thanks for the tea.
Hey, Roland, everybody starts somewhere. You may be experienced on adventuring, but everybody has a different place where they're...
I appreciate it. I'll try to be better.
You're not the only one who needs that.
And then you see him start his workout. Also, you'll notice he sleeps in his
His armor.
She made a note of that.
It's gotta be so uncomfortable.
Is he doing calisthenics in his armor? Too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, of course, how is he gonna be able to move in it?
Yeah.
So
He's doing a little bit less reps, though.
when you knocked the table, I had a moment where I was expecting my dog to start going crazy. I was like, "Oh, here it comes!" I'm not at home anymore.
Kind of surprised that one hasn't gone nuts.
Yeah.
Don't tempt fate.
Yeah, straight up.
All right. Isaac, you awake to the creak of wood as the crew begins to move around in the lower deck. As you step out, Prongor is already upstairs making some food. But you are approached by, of all people, Jania. Hi, Isaac. I was hoping I could talk with you in private.
Well, I'm not busy. How about you step back here with me? And Isaac will gesture to the brig that he has been generously given as a ring.
She steps back there. You're a fancy guy, right?
That's one way of putting it.
I need some advice from a fancy person.
All right, hit me.
So, Roland's fancy. He has white teeth. He's rich and he rides around on a dragon. So you can't really be much fancier than that.
Very true.
What do fancy people like?
Good question. We often have very eclectic tastes, as I'm sure you've noticed.
She's on the edge of her seat.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Given that Roland is from, not Bridgewater, Garen, what do you think people in Garen like? People of the upper class.
Fencing.
That's a start. Well, before we go any further, I need to ask, why are you asking this?
He's hot.
I appreciate your honesty.
Just regain this, sir. That sounds like a telemarketer. I appreciate it.
She's very, uncouth compared to what Isaac's used to interacting with, so he's just like, okay. Alright, so using his knowledge of high society, what would Isaac come up with for someone like Roland?
Are you actually trying for somebody like Roland, or are you trying for high society gear?
That's a good question.
What would he think of just in his head for high society Garen?
You would think of, nobles, but less church-oriented.
No, what would their taste be? What would they like? That's what he's trying to think of.
Same stuff that nobles and Selnox like.
Shiny
Big
things.
meals, parties, having a lot of money, making business deals that get them a lot of money.
Right. Okay.
Feeling powerful.
But Isaac is fairly sure that is nothing like Roland.
Yeah. All right. In the short time that I've known Roland, I think I've noticed that he seems to be a bit of a black sheep amongst his family. I don't know if fancy is what you should be going for if you're trying to catch his eye.
What do you think I should go for?
Well, he seems rather down to earth for someone of noble upbringing. Maybe you should stay a little closer to home.
Give him a porn magazine.
Not necessarily a bad idea, but if you're wanting his
please
attention
do it.
on you, then that's maybe not the best decision.
Amazing. Isaac is giving romance. He needs to have a column.
Roland's ears burning.
And then Isaac will pause for a moment and he says, do you have any on this ship?
I have plenty. The chest is filled with them. Don't you
Yes,
have any? Do you want some?
I forgot to pack any. And I'm alright, but thank you.
I have some tiefling ones.
He stops and he looks around to make sure they're in the room alone and he's like, I'll take a look at one of them.
I like the little horns.
Isaac's morbidly curious because of how he grew up. He has never seen a dirty magazine in his life. And so now he's like, wait a minute. Back to the subject at hand. This is not about me. Roland seems very... How would I put this? He appreciates honesty. He seems very... What's the word Isaac's looking for? He's trying to describe someone who's very, good and wholesome. I think he appreciates good, wholesome family values. That's what
Say
he's
no
looking
more. I know exactly what to do. She says. She's going to turn on. Thanks. I'll sneak one in here. She says. She leaves.
That's exactly what he was trying to think of. The kind of girl you would take home to mom. That's what Roland's looking for.
Roland, where are you right now?
I'm probably.
Yes, I'm up top with you.
I'm probably
This is
still
fantastic.
working out.
We all are.
Okay.
This is great.
Jania is going to come up and stand awkwardly near you for a moment, clearly trying to gain your attention. Shadow is going to lift her head and look between the two of you.
Jania, you need something? He's doing one-arm push-ups or something.
I just want to let you know I have no problem with kids. I think I could be a mother.
You think pirate life lends well to being a mother?
I mean,
He's just doing push-ups while talking to her.
after we're done with the mission, I might be looking to settle down somewhere. Maybe start a family.
Cool. You got a boyfriend?
No.
Well, he rolls his eyes and sits down. Jenny, this is not going to happen with me and you. I've been trying to not have to have this conversation, but I'm involved with somebody else. It's not going to happen. I'm really sorry. You're a very good-looking girl.
Of course. She's going to leave.
How does she look when she leaves?
Confused.
How does Roland look?
He starts doing more push-ups.
June will actually glance over at you to see what your take on this is.
Well, that's going to stop her for about a day.
About a half hour later, Johnny is going to come up to you. Captain, I feel like Roland is really stringing me along.
Definitely what's happening.
She says, but I'm starting to doubt that he actually likes me. What should I do?
We need to sit down.
Okay. Where?
She'll look over. Is Bali on up deck?
Mm-hmm.
She'll
June
nod.
will leave the area where you are to give you room.
She'll nod for her to take over the wheel. Why don't we talk in my quarters for a minute?
Okay.
I'll bust out the good stuff.
Okay. You go in there. What do you say?
So the first thing she does is pours both of them a drink, some kind of whiskey out of this, like, just unidentifiable bottle.
Okay.
She slides it over. I think you're going to have to give up on him.
Why? I think I'm wearing him down, maybe.
That's the spirit.
As much enjoyment as Bali and I get from your conquests,
Why do you all get enjoyment?
we get to hear the stories later. You know that.
Oh.
I think you should leave him alone.
Okay, if you say so.
I know you're disappointed.
I mean, he's alright.
Just all right.
He's not the best looking guy I've ever had.
That I will believe. And she raises her glass.
Captain, I have to say, you're like a total badass. Yesterday, when you killed that sea serpent, one thing, Dom said that nobody has ever done that except for Ronan. So you're in the echelons of the Pirate King.
Maybe not quite there.
Why
Thank
not?
I think Ronan still has some things I lack.
Like being a dwarf?
Definitely being a dwarf.
Being a man? Is that something?
That's nothing.
Incredible.
Bala goes, I actually think that's a disadvantage.
Can she hear?
Me heads in the equation.
I thought you brought her in.
Sorry.
Oh, I wanted somebody to take over the...
Oh,
Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish she had been there for it. I think of all of my good traits, wisdom would not yet be among them.
Wisdom has disadvantages.
Maybe.
All right, well, I guess I'm a little melancholy about it. Honestly, I just haven't had a good lay in a long time.
Well, there's another male on this ship besides Dom.
He's a little too fancy. I mean, Ponzi almost comes to mind.
Could show him a whole other way
Plus
to
the
live.
little arm. I just don't want to deal with that.
It would be a unique experience for you. I know how you like change. And we'll probably make port.
Face!
Looks like she has some standards.
You know, we'll probably make port soon enough.
Okay. Well, thanks for the talk, Captain. Best get back to work.
Finish that first.
Oh, thank you.
Letter.
Thank you, peasants.
Would you like to read it aloud?
Yes, she's not reading it aloud to the crew, though. So, just
Okay.
to differentiate.
Right.
To the Godmother Juniper, greetings. I have been told to assume that you are my current patron. I admit that this is the first time I've been paid by a godmother. I assume you knew of my reputation before you hired me to guard Oak Edge, but just in case, my name is Jalkin Woodround. I got your name from the townsfolk whom you left my wages with, and do hope that the messengers know where to find you, because I have no intention of leaving this town for the next 6 months. Good for you. Firstly, I have a report to make. Upon arriving in the town, I discovered that it had recently been attacked a second time by merfolks. No barons were among the lot, but they did some minor damage and killed 2 people. I wish I could have arrived faster, but this was quite impossible as I was already aided by magic, and this town possesses no teleportation circle, which I plan to remedy as an extra benefit to you. The sigil code for this circle will be... It's an Arcantic. Actually, I think it's in Arabic, but I can't read that, so... The only thing I can read in Arabic is my own name. I heard from the townsfolk that you were seen using magic, so I assume you might be able to use this benefit, and if not, then your organization certainly can. I hope you find me an efficient and professional hero for hire, and if your friends are as generous as you are, then perhaps might consider spreading the good word about me once I successfully defend this town to your satisfaction. Your ally, Jalkin Woodround.
Professional.
He is!
I like this guy.
Yeah, straight up.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Teleportation circle.
All right.
June's
So,
face is kept very blank as she reads it.
reply.
She jots down a quick, thank you, we'll be in touch.
Anyone else? Letters? He nods. Goodbye. You see him run on the water. All right. You guys gained 1 chaos.
Does she share anything about that letter?
She's debating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure at the moment it's a great idea. Considering. Although she might do it anyway. Actually, I think she will. Mostly because she acknowledges that you guys respond heavily to trust, and if she doesn't tell you, she thinks that would be a bad thing. Especially when you inevitably find out. So,
Fair.
How many people are on deck?
Never. Breakfast.
She goes, that letter was from the hero who arrived in Oak Edge. Apparently, there was another attack from merfolk. No barons this time, but apparently 2 died.
Yuffie immediately looks at Hero.
She goes,
Hero looks very distraught. Just 2, though?
Only 2.
Good and worse.
Just 2.
Who said that?
Here. Also.
Oh, who said just the first time?
It was both hero. All of it was hero.
She goes, I suppose I'll get a more thorough explanation for what happened when my friend arrives. He is setting up a teleportation circle in town, so if something happens again, it'd be easier to get the people there more quickly. And we may use it as well.
Is it possible to build one of those on the ship?
She raises an eyebrow.
Is it?
Hypothetically, Captain.
Teleportation
The
circles
movement-
need to be solid.
I thought it would be a problem with. She goes, unfortunately, no, due to the mobile nature of a ship.
Understood.
They must be set in one fixed location, otherwise the coordinates can never be set. Trust me, I've tried.
It is a little after breakfast, nearing lunchtime at this point. Roland. As you have begun doing just busy work stuff, there isn't a whole lot to do on the ship at this point. You are suddenly going to feel the other come forward. It ponders there for a moment, an unusual step for it. Usually if it comes forward, it's ready for action. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the group hesitant to perform the practical actions in the catch?
What do you mean?
I mean, why were you hesitant to leave? To head towards the danger and the quest?
Well, you know I wasn't.
I know you weren't. But the others were. I do not understand why.
And it felt a duty to the people.
They had no duty to those people.
I mean, I felt a duty to those people too, but what we're doing, the quest, I feel is helping them.
To what
In a roundabout
ends
way.
did they feel connected to them? You had only just met them.
It's empathy, man. You're never going to understand empathy.
Perhaps not. Yet you were willing. It is a good mark.
There's a bigger picture. Not everybody sees it.
Sometimes I wonder if I do not actually affect you in some way. Sometimes you make decisions that surprise me. And sometimes I'm embarrassed for how amateurish you are.
Well, good talk.
If you think so. I await our arrival. I feel
Restless.
restless.
I can tell.
There is danger ahead. Of that you can be sure.
There always is. You'll get some action soon.
Yes. He fades away. Back into the recesses of your mind.
How far out are we now from the Crystal Forest?
You're very close to the second crown clock, which rises up into the platform, the plateau that is the Crystal Forest.
Okay. It's been obvious that June has been debating something today. She is going to ask everyone to get together. She wants to talk to you. I was hesitant to mention it because I don't know if it is relevant. But I fear if I do not, and it becomes so, that could be catastrophic. I felt something earlier yesterday, and again last night. I've only ever felt one other creature like it, and if that individual is there, that is not good.
Individual? Dom asks. What do you mean? Jania asks.
There's a person.
Oh, just come out with it, she says.
Down with the old. I believe he is somewhere near.
Oh, shit.
Who's that?
Bad news.
How bad?
Real bad.
He is the current self-proclaimed leader of Satan's Hand.
The terrorist group? Molly asks.
Yes. Idiots who believe that Satan wants them to do things.
Baby looks startled.
He is a being of darkness. A sentient individual being of darkness.
What's his fate?
Nobody knows, right?
Nobody.
Do I know?
Yes.
Does anybody in the world know?
You're in the world.
Okay, will you write it down and show me so I can decide if I want to tell the group? Give me a second and I'll let you know.
Maybe. Do I know?
No.
Okay.
Do I know?
No.
I already know. Yuffie doesn't know.
I mean, it might be in my early parts of notes, but I don't remember.
There you go.
Have I only run into him the
How
one
about
time?
this? Oh, look at it. Jamie.
Have I only run into him the one time?
Yes.
Actually, she is going to say that it's not known. If you would like, I will roll deception.
Go ahead.
Frama rolls insight.
I would like
16.
Oh, wow, I rolled a 12.
On this.
15.
So, you do know that I apparently know.
You all suspect that she knows something more. Did any of you beat her by 5?
No.
What'd you
You
get?
beat me by 1.
Oh, you got 14.
Yes. That's why I rolled with inspiration. I was afraid. She goes, suffice it to say, it is not a widely known thing. He is very difficult to damage.
Meaning?
Meaning I've only ever seen a few people do it.
What does it take?
Harper? An angel? Or certain powers of Godmother.
Well, it's good you're along then, isn't it?
Let's see. I have not run into this individual for a very long time. And he's deadly.
A long time, but you look so young.
He destroyed my town when I grew up.
She looks a little taken aback. I see.
I simply wanted everyone to know that it is a possibility that he might turn up at some point.
That sucks.
And if I sensed him, the likelihood is it's possible he sensed me.
We better
Roland.
do double duty on cards.
Mm.
Probably so.
Make it so. Have you fought him, Roland?
10 years ago.
How'd it go?
Not good. Harper's ate me.
Harper's particular fate allows him to ignore other fates at times, or slice right through, I should say.
You see Yuffie start to look down at her
Didn't I
hand.
No.
I didn't.
No.
But the other took over the whole time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I lasted.
You don't remember what happened?
No, not really.
You broke everything around him.
That's what it was, yeah.
She does look at you with curiosity. What did happen when you faced him?
Essentially nothing. The other took over, but he couldn't do anything, so it was just... It was, I felt so bad afterwards because it pushed my body to its physical limit. I was doing things that I couldn't physically ever do because the other was trying so hard to hurt him, but he couldn't.
Have you mentioned the other before?
I was about to say, is Roland
Yeah,
saying
actually-
the phrase "the other" out loud?
That
maybe,
actually-
yeah, maybe
Yeah, she
maybe
goes-
he just.
She's
let that
gonna.
slip.
She's
What
gonna.
is this
Wait,
other?
wait. Next episode. We'll go ahead and call it there for the time being.
I got to pee.
And
here.
thank you for joining us, Noble Heroes. And remember, do try this at home. Give us a like and a subscribe. Thank you all.